Life rarely asks permission to change. It moves in quiet shifts, sometimes gentle, sometimes jarring, but always moving. Maya learned this the hard way. She was the type who held on to everything, friendships long past their expiry, routines that no longer fit, dreams she'd outgrown. She treated change like an enemy, a thief trying to steal the life she thought she wanted. Every morning she woke with the same thought: if I can just keep everything from changing, I'll be okay. But life doesn't bend for our comfort. It keeps turning whether we turn with it or not. Maya's world began to shift in ways she couldn't control. A relationship she thought was permanent began to fade. Work became unpredictable. People she relied on drifted into other chapters of their lives. Nothing dramatic, no explosions, no betrayals, just subtle, steady distance. Like watching leaves loosen from a branch before they fall. She tried tightening her grip, holding tighter, trying harder, forcing conversations, stretching herself thin to prevent the inevitable. But the more she clung to what was slipping away, the faster it seemed to fall through her fingers. And underneath all her efforts was a quiet fear she never admitted out loud. If things change, who will I be? One evening, overwhelmed by the feeling that everything was coming apart, Maya went for a walk. The city moved around her like it always did, horns, chatter, footsteps on pavement. Nothing special, nothing symbolic, just life happening without her permission. She eventually wandered into a small park. She sat on a bench near an old gardener who was trimming roses with slow, patient hands. Maya wasn't looking for wisdom. Yet something about the gardener's calmness softened the rush inside her. While he worked, the seasons around him told a quiet story. Some flowers were blooming, some were wilting. Some were bare stems waiting for spring. The gardener didn't rush to save the fading petals, nor did he try to force new buds to open. He simply tended to each plant according to its season. Maya watched him for a while, observing the way he accepted each stage, the way he didn't mourn the petals that fell, the way he didn't tug the unopened buds to make them bloom faster. His stillness carried a lesson she never heard spoken. Let things be in their time. She realized how much energy she spent resisting endings, and how little she spent preparing for beginnings. She had been fighting the natural rhythm of life, demanding that her summer never end, even as autumn settled around her. That night, as she walked home, she noticed things she usually rushed past. The change in the air, the different shade of the sky, the quiet shift from day to evening. Nothing had changed in the world, but something had changed in her awareness. She began to see her life in seasons. There were relationships that were beautiful in their time, not failures. Just chapters that reached their natural conclusion. There were opportunities that once fit her but no longer matched who she was becoming. There were dreams she needed to release to make room for new ones. She stopped blaming herself for things that had simply run their course. Days turned into weeks, and Maya slowly allowed life to move. She let go of connections that had turned brittle. She opened space in her days that used to be filled with frantic holding. She accepted that some doors closed not as punishment, but as direction. And as she loosened her grip, something surprising happened. She didn't break. She breathed. She found comfort in the truth that not everything is meant to last forever, and not everything that ends is a loss. Some things end because they completed their work in us. Their season brought growth, strength, wisdom, and now another season needed space to begin. Maya noticed new things quietly forming, fresh opportunities that she once ignored. Friendships that had been waiting at the edges of her life, peace where tension used to live. None of it came with fanfare. None of it demanded attention. These new beginnings arrived gently, like early morning light slipping through curtains. She learned to embrace rhythm instead of resisting it. There was a time to hold on and a time to let go. A time to work and a time to rest. A time to speak and a time to stay silent. A time to stay and a time to move forward. Life wasn't attacking her. It was maturing her. On a quiet afternoon months later, Maya passed the same park. The gardener was working again, tending the plants in a different stage than before. The roses she once saw blooming were now bare stems preparing for colder days. She smiled, understanding now what she didn't grasp then. Not every season is meant to bloom. Some seasons exist to prune, to ground, to restore, to prepare. Maya walked away with a heart no longer heavy from resisting change, but steady from accepting it. Her life wasn't perfect, or predictable, or permanently peaceful. But it was honest, it was real, And it was hers, no longer shaped by fear, but by trust in the one who controls all seasons under heaven. She no longer demanded that life stay the same. She simply chose to grow with it, because there truly is a time to break and a time to heal, a time to release and a time to receive, a time to close chapters and a time to step into new ones. And the beauty of it all? Every season, even the painful ones, shapes us into who we're becoming. Subscribe for more insightful stories.